What if there was a being even more ancient and powerful than Satan? A figure tied to betrayal, fear, and terrifying rituals, worshipped as a god, and remembered as one of the most dangerous demons in history. This is the story of Adrammelech, a dark force whose influence still haunts the shadows. Stick around until the end to uncover how Adrammelech connects to Lucifer's fall and his hidden plans to rule heaven and hell. Adrammelech's story begins in the ancient city of Sepharvaim, a place infamous for its dark rituals and violent devotion. Mentioned in the Bible, 2 Kings 17:31, he is identified as a deity worshipped by the city's inhabitants through some of the most horrific practices in ancient history, the burning of children as sacrificial offerings. This act of absolute submission and terror was not only an expression of devotion, but a gruesome display of the power Adrammelech held over his followers. Sepharvaim itself, now a lost city, was likely situated near the Euphrates River and flourished during the height of the Neo-Assyrian Empire. Known for its cultural and religious diversity, this region fostered intense competition among deities for dominance over the spiritual lives of its people. In this context, Adrammelech emerged as a deity whose cult demanded the ultimate price, human life, to maintain his favor. The disappearance of Sepharvaim from the historical record adds to the enigma surrounding this figure. Some scholars speculate the city may have been destroyed during the Assyrian Empire's decline, while others suggest its deliberate erasure to distance future generations from its horrifying legacy. Despite its vanishing, the worship of Adrammelech did not end with Sepharvaim. Following the Assyrian conquest of the northern kingdom of Israel in 722 BCE, the city's inhabitants were forcibly relocated to Samaria, where they brought their religious practices, including the cult of Adrammelech. These practices shocked the Israelites and were condemned in biblical texts as an affront to God, contributing to the demonization of Adrammelech in later Judeo-Christian tradition. The association of his cult with child sacrifice, a practice also attributed to other Near Eastern deities like Moloch, further cemented his reputation as a figure of ultimate cruelty and evil. Adrammelech's story takes a sinister twist in the historical narrative when he is described in 2 Kings 19:37, not as a god, but as a mortal prince. As one of the sons of King Sennacherib of Assyria, Adrammelech is implicated in the assassination of his father. Along with his brother Saredzah, he killed the king while he prayed in the temple of Nisrach, an act of both political betrayal and religious desecration. This parricide, committed around 681 BCE, was a shocking event in Assyrian history and led to the brothers fleeing to the land of Ararat, modern-day Armenia. While the historical record ends here, later traditions weave a mythological thread, suggesting that Adrammelech's soul was condemned for his crimes. His transformation from mortal prince to infernal demon reflects a recurring theme in ancient mythology, where acts of extreme hubris or evil result in eternal punishment. In this case, Adrammelech's ambition and betrayal marked him as a being unworthy of divine forgiveness, aligning him with the dark forces of the underworld. The rituals associated with his worship further highlight the terrifying power of his cult. Fire, a symbol of both destruction and purification, was central to the sacrifices offered to him. Burning children alive was not merely an act of devotion, but a declaration of the worshipper's absolute submission and an acknowledgement of Adrammelech's insatiable demand for control. These sacrifices were designed to appease a god whose wrath was as feared as his favor was sought. This deity's symbolic connection to fire aligns him with broader themes in Near Eastern religion, where flames often represented divine judgment. His cult's parallels to the worship of Moloch suggest a shared cultural and theological framework, yet Adrammelech's distinct identity as a figure later absorbed into demonological lore sets him apart. In later Judeo-Christian theology, Adrammelech's fall from grace, both as a prince who betrayed his father and as a god displaced by monotheism, transformed him into a demon of hell. He became a symbol of the dangers of idolatry and the corruption of unchecked ambition. This reinterpretation reframed his violent past as evidence of demonic influence, integrating him into the broader cosmology of fallen angels and infernal rulers. Adrammelech's dual identity as both a mortal and a god reflects the fluidity of ancient mythological and theological narratives. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of ambition, betrayal, and devotion to darkness. From the burning altars of Sepharvaim to the halls of Assyrian power, his legacy is one of horror and intrigue, a reminder of humanity's darkest impulses and the enduring power of myth to shape our understanding of evil. This entity's grotesque, yet fascinating appearance carries profound symbolic meaning. Often described as having the face of a mule and the feathers of a peacock, the combination reflects its duality. The mule signifies stubbornness and earthly servitude, pointing to its origins as a mortal. In stark contrast, the peacock's vibrant feathers symbolize vanity, arrogance, and deceptive beauty. Together, they present an entity that thrives on manipulation, an outwardly grand figure hiding dark and twisted motives. The peacock's feathers, with their many eyes, further underscore its role as a vigilant observer in the infernal realm. It is not merely a grotesque figure, but a calculated manipulator, embodying the allure of false grandeur while wielding cunning intellect to maintain control over others. As the Grand Chancellor of Hell, this demon wields significant influence over the perception of power in the infernal hierarchy. The title implies responsibility for maintaining order, overseeing communication, and shaping the image of Hell's rulers. One of its most symbolic duties is managing the wardrobe of the King of Demons. On the surface, this might seem trivial, but in the infernal context, it holds immense significance. Clothing, often a representation of identity and status, becomes a weapon of deception under this demon's control. By shaping how power is visually represented, it ensures that Hell's hierarchy is both respected and feared. This mastery over appearances strengthens its position as a key manipulator, capable of influencing not just the perception of authority within Hell, but also its image in the mortal world. This entity's role as chancellor goes beyond administration. It's a reflection of its intellectual dominance. It ensures the balance of power remains intact, playing both sides to solidify its own position within the chaotic infernal order. This demon's membership in the Order of the Fly, an exclusive council led by Beelzebub, further elevates its status. The order consists of the most powerful archdemons, each representing a different aspect of corruption, rebellion, and destruction. As one of the 10 archdemons within this elite group, it holds a central role in maintaining Hell's influence and expanding its reach. The fly, in the order's name tied to Beelzebub, symbolizes decay and corruption. This group embodies the very essence of chaos, working collectively to spread their influence and maintain control over the mortal and infernal realms. The demon's dual mastery of manipulation and illusion aligns seamlessly with the order's objectives, making it an indispensable part of this circle. Through its symbolic appearance, prestigious role as chancellor, and position within the Order of the Fly, this entity exemplifies the complexities of infernal power. Its grotesque form mirrors its inner corruption, while its ability to manipulate appearances makes it a master of deception. By shaping perceptions, it not only ensures its own survival, but also amplifies its influence across Hell and into the mortal world. Far from being a mere servant in the infernal hierarchy, this entity stands as a potential rival to Satan, one whose ambition and cunning have reshaped the dynamics of Hell. In Paradise Lost, it is suggested that this demon, after the angels' fall from heaven, sought to seize control of Hell by overthrowing Satan himself. This isn't just an act of rebellion. It's a calculated move to establish itself as the supreme ruler of the underworld, a position that would elevate its status above all other infernal beings. Some accounts take this rivalry even further, suggesting that this demon's defiance predates that of Lucifer. If true, it was the first being to challenge God's authority, sowing the seeds of rebellion that Lucifer would later act upon. This timeline casts the entity, not as a follower of Satan, but as the original adversary, a being whose ambition transcends even the celestial fall itself. Such a conflict reveals a layered and intricate story of power struggles within hell. Unlike Satan, whose rebellion was driven by pride and a desire to rival God, this entity's motives are rooted in strategic ambition. It doesn't simply oppose authority, it seeks to dismantle and reconstruct it to its own benefit. This rivalry with Satan suggests an adversarial relationship not born of chaos, but of methodical calculation, making this demon a far more dangerous figure than initially perceived. It's also worth noting that its enmity towards Satan highlights an important theme within infernal lore, the fragility of alliances in hell. While the infernal realm might appear unified against heaven, the power struggles within its ranks suggest that every demon, including Satan, must constantly guard against betrayal. This entity's ambition forces us to question whether hell's throne is ever truly secure, or whether it's merely a symbol constantly contested by those vying for dominance. This being's power is not just immense, it is ancient, predating even the fall of the angels, according to some sources. Such claims raise intriguing questions about its origins. Could it have been a primordial force, existing before the creation of heaven and hell? If so, its rebellion and subsequent role in the infernal hierarchy suggest a being not bound by the traditional rules of celestial order. This would make it a unique figure whose presence reshapes our understanding of the conflict between good and evil. What sets this entity apart is not only its power, but its unparalleled cunning. While Satan is often portrayed as the ultimate adversary, this demon is described in certain texts as possessing greater malice, intelligence, and strategic foresight. It is said to manipulate from the shadows, using internal conflicts within hell to its advantage. Its rumored plans to dethrone Lucifer and take control of hell speak to its ambition. But they also raise the question, is this simply a struggle for dominance, or does it have a grander purpose? Some interpretations suggest that this demon's actions are part of a broader, almost cosmic strategy. By destabilizing the infernal hierarchy, it could be seeking to reshape hell itself, perhaps to create a realm even more chaotic, or paradoxically, one where its own vision of order prevails. This aligns with its reputation as a master manipulator, one who uses deception and calculated moves to advance its goals. Its rivalry with Satan and its alleged attempts to usurp him highlight a deeper tension within the infernal realm. While most demons operate within their given roles, this entity challenges the very structure of hell's governance. If it truly is more powerful than Satan, it raises the chilling possibility that the Prince of Darkness is not the ultimate authority in hell. This leaves us to wonder, could this demon have already influenced events in ways we cannot fully comprehend? Adrammelech stands as a profound reflection of humanity's darkest impulses and the eternal dance between ambition and destruction. His duality as both a feared deity and a condemned mortal reveals the thin line separating worship from fear, power from corruption, and devotion from submission. Through his story, we confront the terrifying reality of how belief can be twisted into horror, and how unchecked ambition can lead to ruin, not just for the individual, but for entire civilizations. This entity's legacy, woven through ancient rituals, political betrayal, and mythological transformation, transcends time. It challenges us to reflect on the choices that define us, the symbols we revere, and the forces we allow to guide our lives. Adrammelech is more than a figure of evil. He is a mirror, showing us the consequences of our own desires when driven by fear, ambition, and the pursuit of control at any cost. If you are as fascinated by the mysteries of the esoteric and the hidden truths behind ancient figures like Adrammelech, don't let this journey end here. Give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and join us as we continue to unveil the secrets of the unseen and the forbidden. Your path to deeper knowledge begins now.